Last part saw the unfortunate delay of the Krenim timeship weapon that the Alliance is planning to deploy. While there are reservations about using such a temporal device against the Iconians, the fleet has mobilised for a single hard strike into the heart of the Iconian Dyson sphere in an attempt to halt the repeated Iconian attacks that have been having us off balance for weeks now. We joined Captain Tom Paris and his strike team as a joint fleet of over 1,000 ships engaged the Herald forces in orbit of the colossal sphere, and we followed their flagship through a gate into its depths where we now press the attack. With the Dreadnought's shields offline, perhaps we can board it and wrest control of the gateways from their builder's grasp. At least it would buy us some time. While the battle outside the sphere rages, we prep for our next action.
Boarding parties are on the flagship and reporting heavy resistance. I'll stay here and keep any reinforcements off your back. You need to transport to the flagship and help our teams there.
Immediately on beaming in, we come across the first of our boarding parties, and Temet detects high levels of interference across comms from the sphere.
Great! We got through. What's your status? We can't reach any of the other away teams.
It's a hot drop. Away teams have engaged the Heralds.
Acknowledged. Sensors are picking up power fluctuations near your coordinates. The impact with the Quartar must have disrupted their systems. Start disabling anything you can reach. If we do enough damage, maybe that will help us take their ship.
Alright, let's capture this vessel like we're pirates. Break what we can, fix it when it's ours. Despite the large number of Herald forces and the servitor races the Iconians control, there are only 3 actual Iconians we know of. Tiket, the Crimson one, was the one that Kalis wounded before she slew him.
Away teams reporting in, sir. Heavy resistance and heavy casualties.
She seemed the most arrogant and spiteful of them, and her wounding has only amplified her anger. Antara, the purple one, and the one who seems to ultimately be in command.
Detecting life signs and weapon discharges dead ahead.
She seldom takes to the battlefield, but she guides the others in their efforts to subjugate or destroy the Milky Way. Limiren is the blue one and seems set on the domination of the other races. While she seems less aggressive than the other two, she wishes to understand the mortal species, and this has brought her into arguments with the others as depicted in Tales of War Volume 9. This vessel is a flagship of the Iconian fleet, meaning there is a good chance that we may find one aboard. Although even with all our forces here, are we really ready to fight one of that demonic triad?
I am detecting Federation and Herald weapons fire beyond this door. There is also a power junction.
With the path from our beam in sight to this door finally secured, we gather the boarding teams we found along the way and prep to pierce further into the vessel, formulating a plan of action as we go.
Away teams are attacking power junctions, but they are encountering heavy resistance. It would be an honor to join your team, sir.
Just as we look for a way through, it opens to reveal another boarding party of Romulan Republic forces. Convenient. Alright team, let's move out. We enter into a cavernous chamber, one filled with strange machinery and built on several levels, of which we're actually on the upper. This must be the source of that power reading we've been getting. Let's see if we can do some damage.
Do you care so little for your lives? When you know that the way from hell, what have you done? You prepared
Well, performance issues affect 1 out of every 3 Iconian. Oh, we've got incoming. No heralds or harbingers this time. Mutara herself has come down to investigate what is going on in her ship, but disrupting the power flow here seems to have, well, nerfed her powers. This is very interesting as it suggests that the Iconians' status as some sort of biological energy construct is tied to the power of their vessel, and this vessel in particular helps to control the gateways.
Mutara is retreating. She might be trying to recharge her energy.
Excellent. Let's keep breaking things.
Whoa, what are you doing over there? The fluctuations are increasing exponentially.
Breaking things. Was that not the plan? Mutara is here too, but we actually drove her off.
Interesting, but it makes sense. The Iconians are energy beings. If Mutara can't use the ship's systems, she'll use herself as a battery for the gateways. But that's probably dangerous for her. She's bleeding herself dry with every gateway. Keep at it. If you can drain enough of her energy, she might make herself vulnerable.
Alright then, kill the power so she has to plug herself in to keep the ship alive.
Herald reinforcements!
Although apparently she's not going to make it easy for us.
We need to disable the other junction, sir.
Get the wounded to their feet that can still walk and we move on. If we shut down more systems, Mutara is going to have to run herself ragged trying to keep the ship operational.
There is another power junction ahead.
She can't risk the gateway network failing in the middle of our fleet assault. Grabbing the surviving members, still a sizable party, we press into the vessel towards another strong power signature, all the while trying not to think this is probably Omega molecules we're tampering with. Well, this certainly has all the hallmarks of an Iconian power regulation matrix, something I will now declare myself an expert in. Just, stay away from the edges in this one, yeah? And, this looks important.
You have damaged this ship, but I will still destroy you.
The demon is weakening. Keep disabling the power junctions.
It's working! She's using her own energy to power the gateways.
In her weakened state, the hail of phaser and disruptor fire is enough to give her pause, and once again she retreats.
More reinforcements, sir!
This time she drops in another whole bunch of heralds and even a defiler to keep us occupied.
The area is secure, and the other interface is just over there. I am detecting a third junction ahead.
We gather the troops once more, slightly smaller than last time, I think we did lose a couple there, and we move deeper.
Another junction just ahead, sir. If we can keep forcing the creature to use her own power, we can weaken her enough to defeat her.
You keep repeating the plan like you can't believe it's happening. I think we're actually going to be able to do this, guys. As before, we locate another Iconian interface and set about meddling until it breaks.
I am detecting strong energy signatures ahead. I believe it to be some kind of command center.
You think you're a hero? You're not. You're weak, pathetic, and I will destroy you.
Scans confirm her energy readings are increasing. This could work.
I see what you are trying to do. But I have meaningless.
A harbinger! Prepare yourself!
This time she jumps away and tags out with one of her harbingers, and at this juncture she's barely any more powerful than one of her elite chosen.
We must disable the other interface before we continue.
With a climactic burst, the Harbinger falls, and we're momentarily free to shut down this room's power flow unimpeded.
The area ahead contains 4 interface junctions.
Yes, that's very important and all, but who brought the Tribble on a joint mission with Klingons? Really? Okay, I have no idea what I'm looking at here. Is this an energy discharge or a structure? A display? Whatever runs through here, it's important, so we know what to do. Maybe not, but that's why we brought Klingons, because I believe they killed all of theirs. This time is for keeps. She gates out of there and brings in reinforcements to try to prevent us from tampering any further, but after we deal with the interruption, we just get right back to sabotaging her dreadnought.
Reinforcements on their way.
Once more she portals out of there, but drops a defiler on us. However, we're able to destroy it with focused fire almost as soon as it steps out.
More reinforcements. Watch your back.
She sounds a little worse for wear. Either she won't disengage herself from the vessel, or she can't. But either way, the Iconian is on the ropes. This time, when she jumps away, she drops not one, but two defilers on us in an attempt to break our momentum. However, we have lost many of our own in this skirmish, and many more ships continue to fight beyond this sphere to give us this chance. And there is also a glitch in this battle, however, where allies can fall off a ledge and get stuck below as well as enemies, and this can cause the mission to not proceed and take several attempts.
I see clearly now, Ticket. I will stand with you, and these creatures will pay for what they've done. Kill them. Kill them all.
Fall back! Transporter, beam us up!
You made it back! Count yourself among the fortunate few. What's the situation on the flagship?
We killed one of the Iconians, and Tara's dead.
I hate to say it, but that might be the first bit of good news I've heard all day. Okay, we need to fall back. While there's still a chance, the Heralds will be coming back in force.
Acknowledged. How are things looking out here? Oh.
These warriors died well, and they will not be forgotten.
As far as we can see, the remains of hundreds of Starfleet, Klingon and Romulan vessels drift broken and defeated. Every time we think we might be reaching the edge of the debris field, more broken people and metal drift by. The crew talk among themselves, reading the wreckage for familiar ship names, and we spot a likely-looking vessel that may still hold life signs. But on approach, we see it's just another hulk. Its flickering lights just the dying gasp in the vacuum. Soon all this wreckage will drift towards the surface of the colossal sphere, but before that, the heralds will arrive and do who knows what. We'll conduct search and rescue operations for as long as we can until we detect signs of the enemy. In the distance, we see a bloom of fresh plasma and move to investigate a crippled Romulan vessel, its wreckage aflame, but our sensor sweep carries with it a warning. We detect gateways opening at the edge of the system. The heralds aren't going to give us the time we need to search through the fallen. Commander Tarsi detects the IFF of the USS Stardancer, a vessel she had friends on and one we actually served alongside on our trip to fluidic space with Admiral Tuvok's expedition. Determined to find someone, anyone, left alive after all of this, we push our luck and move to search another wreck, this one a Starfleet cruiser surrounded by escape pods. At least this vessel seems to have had time to enact evacuation procedures. It's not looking too good though, even some of the escape pods look damaged. Looks like the heralds even targeted the fleeing. We scan what we can and beam out survivors from the escape pods, but not all of those even have life signs in them. We're really pushing our time now, as we need to leave before the heralds descend on our location. Leaving the cruiser behind, we set a course out of the debris field and away from the sphere so we can jump to warp and leave all this behind, trying not to think about those left in the wreckage that we cannot save, let alone the ships and crews lost here today. 3 months into the war, and this is the result. Conservatively, if we imagine each ship was running a skeleton crew, there would still likely be around 100,000 officers spread across all of those ships. Realistically, probably 3 or 4 times that number. We take the lucky few who we found and escape the Iconia system, heading back to rendezvous with the fleet's remains at Kayana. We return to the briefing room to meet with the fleet's commanders to take stock of the situation. On the plus side, we took down the leader of the Iconian threat, Ntara, but at what cost? We failed our objective of destroying or usurping the gateways and lost who knows how many ships.
I want to personally commend you. Whatever success we had in this mission was thanks to you. The Iconians have lost their leader. Their unity is broken. That might give us an opening to end this war. The cost, though? All those people? I can't help but feel that I failed them.
You can't think like that, Captain. But he's going to anyway, isn't he? He was in command of the Vanguard, and in many ways this was his operation, despite doing the best he could to mitigate casualties.
I don't think we have a choice now. We have to complete the Krenim device. Captain Cogran wants it online immediately, but this isn't something we can rush. Cutting corners with temporal mechanics? That's how you end up with unsolvable time paradoxes. Look, I'll do whatever I can, but I'm scared of this technology. Building it will be the greatest challenge of my career, but actually altering time? I'm not sure anyone should have that much power.
I agree, but now what do we have left to lose? We just made the Iconians angry about the sound of it, and now they want to kill us all as opposed to just subjugate us.
Despite the extraordinary efforts of you and many others, our operation was a failure. We're still totaling up the casualties, but the cost was too great. The Heralds still stand. They have lost one Iconian, but if anything, that will only prolong the conflict. Defeating Matara was a combination of the sacrifice of Guroth and many others, your quick thinking and martial prowess, and the Iconians' arrogance. Matara did not believe an Iconian could die. The others will not make the same mistake.
We had to take the risk. The Krenim temporal weapon just wasn't ready.
Indeed, but that is a small comfort to the warriors who have entered Stovercore this day. Those of us who remain will mourn, and then we survive another day.
Walking the halls of the Krenim research facility, we come across wounded from vessels in the corridors. Whatever medical facilities are available here must be at capacity, as well as those of the few ships that returned. What stands out in stark contrast, however, is a subdued atmosphere. Looking out the observation port of the conference room shows an empty sky where hours ago they gathered the largest fleet ever seen in a historic joint operation. Now that's mostly gone and we don't have the resources to try something like that again. It seems that the Iconian heralds continue indefinitely, perhaps being constructed in the heart of that sphere we were just in, while we lose our lives at every battle. I think the temple weapon might be the only choice left. After all, what's the point of a future if it's one like this?
Our losses were great today, and we will mourn for every hero who died defending their galaxy. I am a warrior. I believe in honorable combat, direct tactics, and looking my enemy in the eye. Although you did manage to destroy Matara and break the unity of the Iconians, I now see that we cannot use traditional combat to defeat them. Captain Nog and his team will continue their work on the weapon. It may be our only option.
So, thank you for joining me on this part of the Star Trek Online story series as we battle the Iconian re-emergence and turn our attention to the timelines to try to fix all of this. Until the next part, thanks again for watching. I've been Rick, and I'll see you again. Goodbye.